smart, don't feel successful. This little boy told me I can't read, and I looked at him and I said, yeah, you can. So I put something in front of him and he was like, oh, I can read that. And that, it's just like that confidence. They just don't have a lot of confidence, and it's just building up confidence, self-esteem, trust, that they trust us to do the right things for them. These kids aren't supposed to have homework, and I know some of mine are reading and practicing sight words just because they want to. They don't have to, but I suggest, I'll say, hey, if you have time, practice those words. Have fun with them. And, there's so many nice, now, teaching can be so different. I don't have a projector yet, but, that's their world, is games and different things. So there's all kinds of sight work games, reading games, math games. So just encouraging them to, and their parents to play some games at home. We do have 2 programs that are reciprocal at home. They have the Prodigy for math and the Lexia for reading. They can do both at home. And then it shows up, and I can tell how many minutes they have. And it also shows me what level they're on and what they've had trouble with. And those are kind of new for me. In my teaching, we did a lot. Technology was something I didn't do for years and years. So the technology's nice.
And in what ways is it different when you're trying to tailor instruction for not necessarily your educationally disadvantaged students, but maybe those that are in the very bottom of your reading and math scores? What kind of things, what kind of services and things are done here to differentiate that instruction for those kids?
That's hard.
Some one-on-one between me and the
One-on-one.
student, and then also having the peers to come and teach when I feel that they could do it better. They can say it better. It's in their language. It's not in my language. It's in theirs. And so they
have students helping students.
Yeah. Like today, when you were watching, just kids helping kids. I have 5 in the 10 in their word wizards, and helping the other kids that are not. And so, and plus, just we have some that are not real kind. So just teaching kindness and empathy and. I think grouping is something Angie and I enjoy, all of us do, and Tiffany. Just grouping them so that you can work and differentiate that instruction. I took, we're doing word families, took those those little ones that can't figure out what a word family is, and up to ones that I really don't even have to teach that. They're just creating it and doing. So just letting, because to me it's just as hard to pull up that top end as it is to pull up that bottom end, because you can get really bogged down here, and you're like, what do I do with these guys?
Yeah.
They've got it. They're going. I mean, I have 2 kids that can read Hank the Cow Dog. So what are they doing? They're in 1st grade, but there's gaps in their learning. One that can read Hank the Cow Dog, that's like a 4th, 5th grade level book. She can't write very well. So my focus is to help what she needs, and still keep her busy enough and learning enough. That it's a challenge for her too.
And in terms of student discipline, can you describe your general approach to managing student behavior in the classroom?
I thought that we would be using PBIS a lot. I'm very much, I don't really discipline, I reward.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's mostly what I do. But that's more of what I would want to do. Like to do.
To use positive reinforcement?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the times that negative reinforcements have been introduced, our kids especially, it doesn't work. They already don't have that self-esteem. So across the board we have like a color system, and we're trying to encourage our kids to end on those higher colors. For our 1st and 2nd graders, we give them stars. And then at the end of the week, they can earn getting to go to a PBIS party. And so it's just always reinforcing, like, make better choices. Do you want that party? We have this big reward.
And I think I heard mentioned Conda Bucks. What is
Condra
that?
Cash,
Condra
yes.
Cash, yeah. What is that?
It's so our PBIS party is kind of ideally the long-term goal during a week. The Conjure Cash is kind of that short-term goal. So it's okay, everybody who stayed on topic is going to get a Conjure Cash. And then we've got various like treasure boxes that you can go, and when you've earned however many your teacher decide, you earned 3 today, okay, you can go pick one thing out of the box.
Oh, okay. So that's like an immediate
reward.
incentive. And which of the classroom management approaches that you just talked about do you think has been most effective in terms of improving student behavior?
I mean, I started off with the Buffalo Bucks from day one and the treasure box from day one. It's pretty effective.
I mean, that was so effective that we adopted it as an entire school. So,
but
I have a treasure box.
There's a few kids that they don't. It doesn't work on them whatsoever. But the majority of them will straighten up pretty quickly and do what they need to do. I'll always call them Buffalo Bucks. I know y'all changed them to Condra. They'll always forever be Buffalo Bucks to me. But most of them, they get that pride of earning it. But there's a few that, that they don't really care. But I mean, I just don't like to spend my day yelling. Or I just would rather reward you.
Yeah, me too.
I can't go. If you just can't go home and feel very good.
Somebody said, "You're not mean enough," and I said, "That's not going to happen. I'm the oldest one on this campus. It ain't going to happen."
And in what ways do school leaders support you with disciplinary issues that come up in the classroom?
Well, we all have radios. So you have an issue that is out of your control, you just call, they come get them. And then they can talk it out, walk it out, whatever needs to happen. It's happening less and less. I think still you have a couple in second. Most of, we had some really bad behavior problems. One has been totally turned around. She's wonderful. The other one is at a different facility that is good for him. And I think you just call and they'll come. And usually we have, and that's what I think Angie's frustration was too, is you got to have another person in the room with these kind of kids. You have, in order for us to teach, Angie and I to teach, or Tiffany to teach, somebody's got to be there to balance that. And that's what Joy needs, is somebody to teach. So we're looking to hire another kindergarten teacher. Or but I think they would love to have a teacher. Right. So I think just having that support, there was many times I taught, many years that I had 20 kids, 22. I didn't have a teacher's aide with me.
I've never had aide in my life, and I've taught high school, middle school, and everything, but here it's a necessity.
Yeah,
you need two adults in the room.
There has to be.
There were days before Joy was hired that I was the kindergarten teacher. I mean, it was probably a week, 2 weeks.
I don't feel
it was just me and only me. And there was one day I called and an admin came, and there was one little girl who was trying to stab kids with a pencil, kicking, and the one person was like, "Well, I don't know what you want me to do." I want her out of my class. Like, she needs to go. And they were just like, "Well, like, I can take her for 5 minutes, but then I'll bring her back and she's going to do the same thing." Well, like, you need to do something because I can't teach. And that situation has never happened again. It's not repeated itself.
It happened to me just last week. I mean, I called the designated person. It was like, I don't have time. I can't be in here for this. And
well, no, not that we called, but I mean, the person that came was like, "I don't know what you expect me to do about it." And I was like, "This is ridiculous." But they made changes. We've got 2 staff now that are almost always available or can kind of tag in. And so I need somebody to come right now. They're there.
And we have a calm down room, and we're adding another program called it's called IPP. But what it is just there's a mini tramp you jump on. There's walking the line. It's like learning control of your body.
Is that like ISO or is that?
Yeah, it's just learning control of your body. And a lot of our kids don't have control. And so we did this program at Southcrest. They've done it at Cooper. They've done it at Slayton, and it's amazing to watch. And so I saw the equipment. I said, "You know what you need?" And so the teachers that are going to be in charge of it have actually gone to training and had a training this week on it. So I think our admin responds really well to the need, knowing that was a need and that Angie has a need and that I have a need. And I told them I cannot teach